This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
This is Dr. Serena Kajani from the Tri Channel, and you're listening to the Coarse Grind Podcast with your host, Shawn Rosler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode number 185 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. Can you believe it? With you as always, host creator Shawn Rosler. How the hell is everyone doing tonight? You know what's a great thing? Aside from another episode of the podcast, I know. It's a great thing when all you have to do is just drive down the road a little bit to discover hidden treasures. You know, you city folk likely don't get that feel too much. You're surrounded by it. You look one direction, you got 10 Starbucks. You look the other direction, you got 10 Starbucks. But those of us in less concrete jungles sometimes gotta look a little bit. And a while back, I was introduced to a place in a little town called Benton, named Wildfire on Main, created by, you guessed it, tonight's guest. Our guest's adorable, and I don't oftentimes say adorable on the show, but I'm gonna use it here. Adorable. Little boutique with some amazing things that my wife adored, had early rumblings of a coffee shop in the place. But fast forward to today, she's vaulted Benton, PA, forward with a brand new culinary offering in a beautiful old space, courtesy of her same creative force. And while I wasn't exactly running to interview her about blouses and accessories, I'm not even sure that blouses is the word to use, but whatever. What I've seen via social thus far for Benton's new culinary offering, the Central Park Hotel, had me reaching out as quickly as I could. Small town can sometimes come up with a big surprise, and everything I've seen so far says the impact is real. And hey, for someone who stayed open late so I could drive out and buy my wife the specific top she wanted, I guess I owe her one, although I did just provide some social media support, but that's a whole other topic. All kidding aside, from boutique to bistro, there was a story here that I couldn't wait to tell, so why wait any longer? Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, the design mind and force behind Benton's own Wildfire on Main and the newly revised and highly acclaimed Central Park Hotel, Nicole Good. What is going on, Nicole?
Hi, Shawn. How are you?
I am fan-freaking-tastic. Fantastic to talk to you, to learn about how the coffee shop has, you know, clearly taken a hard left turn in the right direction, in my opinion. And I can't wait to dive in. I can't wait to hear how that all happened. But before we do, folks new to the program, folks with terrible short-term memories like me, starters, mains, and afters. Starters, we're going to talk about where the guest in question came from, what brought them to food as profession. Mains, we're going to talk about where they're at, what they're doing, what the trends are. And finally, afters, a little bit more irreverent, a little bit more off the cuff, but no one has been seriously bodily injured in 184 episodes, so I don't see that happening tonight. So without further ado, Nicole Good, talk to me a little bit about what and where you grew up eating.
So I grew up in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. I'm a graduate from Central Columbia. That was before it turned into a little bit more of a dual program of having, I guess, the tract of college prep, and they now have a new career program. So I was full force college prep student going off to be an engineer, and then I dropped out to art school.
Wow. Okay. And it's interesting you say that. All three of my boys, as I'm sure, you know, we know, and folks that know us know, you know, they're all Central boys, and I was just having a talk with my oldest tonight about the engineering track. So small world indeed. So being local to Bloomsburg, I can probably take a stab in the dark and figure out what it was you grew up eating, but talk to me a little bit about what that looked like for you.
So my mom always had dinner on the table. We definitely grew up in a house that always had a protein, a vegetable, and a starch. And that is how I definitely grew up. And my mom always cooked. She wasn't always uber creative with her meals, but she always had good quality meals on the table.
I feel that. And so looking at that and realizing, again, I grew up in Honesdale, again, small town USA. It was protein, veg, starch. Like that's what you got. We get it. Talk to me about your palate growing up. Were you one of those picky kids, or were you a little bit more adventurous?
I was never picky. I went through like the normal kid stuff of not liking onions or too much pepper.
Got it.
But I was definitely never picky. I was always adventurous when it came to like fish, and seafood and things like that. Always adventurous with flavors. And then when I got into college, I became a lot more adventurous.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And so, you leave that small cosmos and you enter a larger cosmos. Even if you go locally, you're still entering other people with different, ideations of what food is to them. But looking back at that childhood food, talk to me about any childhood foods that you kind of reminisce on. Maybe you have a nostalgic point for it. Maybe God knows that it's found its way onto the menu at Central Park. But, are there any foods that you think of back to your childhood that give you like a deep down resounding pang of nostalgia?
Always 100% my grandmother's cheesecake.
Nice.
And my other grandmother's cherry crisp, which is odd, sweet things. But one of my late grandmothers, she actually made a cookbook for us all. When she ended up with dementia, and she made a cookbook, and it was all German Dutch and things like that, and a lot of baked goods and things like that. Very basic dishes, but she always loved to bake and loved to cook. So.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's so amazing to say that because, again, those traditions, they go by the wayside so quickly unless they're recorded. My mother also has dementia. And so, you kind of race almost to, save these things. How was it you made that yellow cake with the chocolate frosting, Mom? That's phenomenal that you were able to get that. I would honestly sometime come over to the pool, have some drinks, have some White Claws like we were talking about before we went on air, and bring the cookbook. Let's look through it. I'd love to see it. So growing up, it sounds like you were surrounded what we in the area would consider to be typical upbringing, but it sounds like people were actively engaged in the cooking process. If you had to put a finger on it, because obviously, again, you went from art school to Wildfire to Central Park Hotel, so Culinary clearly struck a chord with you. Who would you say has inspired you most looking back across time in the culinary sense? Who is your greatest influence?
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have just about zero culinary experience. I don't have a lot of experience at all, and this is something that is brand new to me. So I am trying to learn as I go.
I love it. Well, that's the best. I mean, that's one of those things where we can always be a student of life. We don't have to necessarily come to the class with all the prerequisites neatly checked off our checklist, right? We can decide, this is something I'm interested. So, interestingly enough, we can pivot into the next question. When was it that you looked at this idea and went, hey, here's something to do? How did Central Park Hotel, how did your involvement with a restaurant come to be?
So I started coming up here, in my late teens, I guess, to just above Benton, the central area. I started coming up for the waterfalls. Ricketts Glen has been on the radar for everyone, but there's a lot of hidden gems up here in Central Jameson City, and I started coming up here. I was jumping on the waterfalls and having a good time, and Central Park Hotel was always that place that was it was the place. It was the place that gave you all the good vibes. It was the place that just kind of felt like home away from home, or they have a motto here, you're a stranger here but one. I think that is something that we have special here. It's always been something that I've looked around about and thought, hey, I would like to own that someday. And I never thought that would be a possibility or a reality. And then my business partner called me up one day and said, "Hey, Nicole, if you want to buy Central Park Hotel, you need to call us. It's going to be sold."
You need to call them or it's going to be sold. So that's crazy. And you mentioned actually a former vet of the show, Jameson City Hotel. We had them on probably about 20 episodes ago. And, again, this is that small town vibe that feels so good. And that quote, "You're only a stranger once." Like, that's the vibe. Again, coming from Honesdale, coming from any small town, I think unless you're kind of an asshole of a town, that's what you want people to vibe on, right? That's what you want people to bite into and be like, cool. Because I'll say this, we were recommended Jameson City Hotel. We were at Colonel Rickett's Cider Mill. There again, another Benton hit. And we were talking to Rob, and my wife and I knew Rob from college, and we're kind of shooting a little bit. And he's like, "Yeah, you should go out and check out the Jameson City Hotel." It was honestly one of the most hospitable, without question, experiences I've ever dined in. And we're not necessarily shy to dining in, different arenas. It was, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one of the most hospitable experiences ever. And so to hear that quote, I think that's the vibe of the area. And so you go into Central Park Hotel and now you're running that ship. And so talk to me about how you came up with what the menu was going to be for it.
So to be perfectly honest, I really didn't come up with a lot for the menu. We really are kind of rolling all of the classic favorites that have been here for 30 years. This menu was created 30 years ago, and really the previous owners, they really made everything from scratch, and we're kind of just making sure all of those classic favorites everybody has come to love are still on our menu, to give it a little bit of a modern flair and add our own taste to it. So business partner Ian has been playing around with barbecue sauce a little bit here and there. I've been playing around with salads to update some things. The base menu is really, it has nothing to do with us, to be perfectly honest. It's really just a classic menu that has been around for a long time. So we're just
right on.
We're just working on doing our little twist on what they really brought to the table a long time ago here.
No, really. Yeah, I get that. So when you say, and again, I get it that the Central Park Hotel has been kind of revised over time. When did the Central Park Hotel actually begin? I almost feel like it's so funny that there's almost a pseudo parallel to the Light Street Hotel. Like the Light Street Hotel was 18 something. When did the Central Park Hotel begin?
So the first talk of Central Park Hotel is 1864. It is actually the oldest establishment, in our area, and one of the only standing, it is the only standing hotel that, is out this way that currently operates as a bar, hotel, and restaurant. Everything else in this area, a lot of it burned. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of the OG spot, and it was in this for 50 years prior to us buying it.
Right on. So you mentioned something else, and I know your design proclivities and your art school immense prowess. I saw some pictures of the rooms, and they are amazing. How did you? So not only are you lifting up, and I don't want to get too bogged down with the hotel and the lodging, but the lodging's got to be mentioned at the Central Park Hotel, 976 Central Road in Benton, PA. Obviously, as a design person, you were going to go and you were going to put your stamp on it. These look amazing. What made you want to take that up too?
So I'm going to be honest, that was the main appeal about this whole endeavor for me was, the lodging aspect. I've had a couple Airbnb properties over the years, and it's something that I always really loved and I always really enjoyed. My business partner, Ian, I helped him get an Airbnb off the ground last year, and he did an amazing job with it, and loving it. So I think the two of us kind of coming together on this place and being able to have an an entire hotel and an annex property filled with rooms is something that's really exciting to me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And again, folks, if you want to check it out, go out, check out their social presence. It's all over the place. I say Facebook and Insta. The handle on Insta is Central. It's not Central Park Hotel. What is the handle? It's
Gateway to the Gamelands.
Gateway to the Gamelands. That's what it is. Gateway to the Gamelands.
It's PA Gamelands on Insta.
Okay, there you go. Gateway to the PA Gamelands on Insta. Facebook, just look up Central Park Hotel Benton. You're going to find it. You're going to see pictures. You're going to want to stay there. Because that is, I mean, literally, if you ever loved, and I say this lovingly, if you ever loved Twin Peaks, this is where you want to go and really vibe that kind of like beautiful, artistic, just vibe in general. It looks so good. The orange room was the one that I saw, and I apologize. I'm not an art major or anything, but I saw the orange room and I went, oh my God, that's like 20 minutes away, and I would stay there because it just looked so, posh isn't the word, but
it's definitely not posh.
yeah, definitely not posh. Well, what would the word be? Art major. Here we go. Let's call on this. For, being rustic, but being very chic.
Boy, I don't know. I honestly don't know. We're dealing with an 1800s building, with some wood paneling from the 80s, and we're just rolling with it because that's what we have to do right now. But I am trying to, there is a certain client that I think will appreciate that, and I sure hope they do because, I know that we do. So.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, this is literally everybody I hang out with would be like, yo, I'm staying there. I'm like, wait a minute. We have a guest room here at the house. Nah, screw that, man. I'm staying out there. I'm staying at the Central Park Hotel. So, all right, let's step back from the hotel. The menu, is obviously kind of a modernization of what's been held across. So let's talk food for a minute. I've seen the plates that have come across, and for folks listening, again, I encourage you, check out their social presence. Pictures galore. It will make you salivate. It will make you want to drive to Benton immediately, even if you don't know where that is. Even if you're from California, you'll want to come out here. With that in mind, as you're becoming this up-and-coming restaurateur, right? What would you say is like the next big trend in food that you want to feature on the menu? Like, there's got to be something in your head where you go, you know what I'd like to do? It's this. What would that be for you, Nicole?
I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no idea. We are literally flying by the seat of our pants and also just doing things that we want to do right now. And we're trial and erroring things. And we're just seeing what people like because we have this like really diverse client base. We have the local crew that we just absolutely love that come out here and support us, multiple times a week. And then we have the hikers that are coming to the area. And then we have cabin customers up the road that are from Philadelphia and they're expecting something from us. So we are trying to kind of use what we know we love. And we're trying to also just bring some extra stuff to the table. My business partner, Ian, he's really good with like the barbecue stuff and the meats and things like that, and I'm a lot better with the salads. Sure. I like double flowers.
I follow.
Combine forces and come up with something that we just know that we want to eat, and we're hoping that other people want to eat it too.
I love it. So let me pivot this next question then to you as if you were the diner, because I think that informs your decisions that you make there. Obviously restaurants in general are driven by trends. And some trends are freaking obnoxious, like your 11-year-old telling you about Minecraft. Sorry, kid. With that in mind, what trend would you love to see go away from restaurants in general?
I think we'd have to know what the trends are before we tell you what go away, and we actually have no freaking idea.
I love it.
Like, it's that bad that we actually don't know.
No. Yeah. But you know what, though? And again, I go back to this beautiful place, from early on about, culinary influence of not knowing. Like, everybody goes in with this formulaic approach almost to be like, well, I was inspired by my great-grandmother who taught me to roll gnocchi on, a Labrador's ankle bone. Nobody gives a shit about that. What I want to see is someone... What's that?
I said Ian probably doesn't even know what gnocchis are.
I want to see somebody just dive head first and not give a shit. Like, literally two middle fingers to the winds, like, I'm doing this. I love that. Like, it's so punk, and, like, that's where you gotta be. So let me ask the logical, at least according to this program, follow-up question, which is, okay, you're rolling with Central Park Hotel. You're doing work literally as we speak, and I love the ambiance of it all. 5 years from now, Nicole, what is Central Park Hotel?
For sale sign outside.
Okay, what does it look like in between now and then?
Collateral for a Walmart. Maybe.
Yeah, there's Ian. Hey, buddy.
No, I will never buy a Walmart. Are you kidding me? So he jokes around. He's like, please tell me that this is not a stepping stone for something bigger. That's what he means by that.
I got it.
So, I just hope that we can the previous owners, I just want to give them a little bit of a nod because they poured their entire lives into this place. I don't know if we have what it takes to do that. We take it day by day. I know that we absolutely love this area, and we know that this area has something so huge to offer, and it's such a special place. So we really just hope that we can create a really special environment that people want to keep coming back to. And as long as we can do that, I really don't care about anything else.
I'm telling you right there. Listen, okay, I'm gonna pull that third wall down here and just be honest. Anybody who asks me a line of questioning about the podcast always ends up with, well, how many people listen? And my response is always, I don't care. I want the people who enjoy it to listen to it. Beyond that, I don't care. I feel like literally we just connected there. I'm like, yeah, I completely feel that vibe. I want you, if you enjoy it, to keep coming back. And that's amazing. That right there, you can't teach that in culinary school. You can't teach that anywhere. You feel that in your bones. And so for me, 185 episodes deep, this is one of the realest conversations I've ever had in 8 years. So that feels really freaking good. Nicole and Ian, hi buddy.
Now, the one thing that the one thing that Ian said to me recently is like, we're making people happy.
Dude, that's it. That's it. Oh my God, that's
really
it.
We might be flat broke, freaking putting a bar floor in at 11 o'clock at night, but we're making people happy.
That's it. That's it.
That's the only reason that we can keep going with this.
There are stories of Anthony Bourdain weeks before his demise, making, I believe it was a meatloaf. I think the story goes it was a meatloaf for a family that I don't know if they were on set or they were staying with them. And Bourdain stood nervously by the table as this very pedestrian family ate it and looking, like waiting for the smile. Those are the people who have been bitten by the bug. If you wait for that response, like literally when I cook for people, I'm giving you a portion of my soul. I mean that. That's not fluffing it up. That's not inflating it. That's what I do. If I cook a meal for you, I want you to stay alive that much longer. Sounds a little brutal, but it's kind of honest. You have jumped the shark. You and Ian both have jumped the shark, and you're like, cool, we're going to put all our fucking effort into this, and we hope we make people happy. And there's not a lot of people out there who are left who are willing to say, that's what I want to do. And you two are doing it. And honestly, I am a fan without being out there, and believe me, I will be out there now. Central Park Hotel, 976 Central Road, Benton, PA, 17814-570-925, 6650, Facebook and Insta. Be sure to check it out. Are you ready for the after questions, Nicole?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think you are, but I don't care. With that said, Nicole, I'm standing in the kitchen with you at Central Park Hotel. You are on DJ control.
Oh.
What are we listening to?
So we listen to a really wide range of stuff here. When I'm in the kitchen, though, and I'm DJing, I think that most of the time, if I don't have to make anyone else happy, I am listening to, like, Church It or some type of, like, alternative dance type music.
Ooh, like what? Wait a minute. Go all dance for me for a minute. What are we talking about here?
Churches, I don't know, something weird.
Okay.
We listen to a lot of Coulter Wall.
Okay. I got you.
Kind of bring things back to the countryside of things. Yeah, we listen to a really wide range of stuff.
Our old chef listened to Clutch.
Our old listen to Clutch. Yeah, he was pretty into the rock.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, again, no judging here. We're all open. We're all friends here. Okay, you ready? Wait, what's that? What happened?
We've been listening to some 1930s. It's actually Pandora station from video
Okay.
game.
I adore that. And I'm going to give you a recommendation based on that. Look up the Wax Taylor station on Pandora.
Okay.
So that takes your 90s dance, your 90s alt dance, mixes it with 1930s.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It's nuts. You're going to love it. Promise. All right. Next question. Fictitious. You're going to be stranded on a deserted island, and you're only allowed to take 3 foods or food type items with you. Inexhaustible supply. It never runs out. Power of imagination here, kids. But only 3. What would they be and why?
Can I take French fries?
Yes. Literally bottomless
them?
French fries. I love how quick you answered that. I'm like, damn, is she stoned right now? Like that would be my answer. Like 3 a.m. Bottomless French fries.
I feel like potato products are fine. You have your starch and you're good to go. Cheese, I can fish, right?
Yeah.
The island? Okay. 3 food. This is crazy.
See that, kids? Get you a girl from the country. Her second question was, can I fish? Trust me, you ain't getting that in Manhattan, kids. All right. So yes, you can fish. You got 2 more wishes left.
Is there fruit on the island?
There certainly could be.
Well, I feel like I can just hunt and gather all the things I need. I don't even need 3 foods. I need coffee.
Step 2, boys. There you go. Repeat the first note I mentioned. Yes.
I need caffeine, French fries, and I don't even know what else. Nothing else matters. Ice cream.
Man, that might be the most baller list ever. The most nah, I'll take care of it myself. Don't bother me. I got this. That is literally the hold my beer list for that question. Bottomless French fries, coffee, and ice cream. Because everything else, Nicole Good can get. That's fantastic. Jesus Christ. I'm almost scared to come out now. I'm almost like, all right, listen, I'm going to come. I'm not bringing French fries. I'm not bringing coffee or ice cream. Don't beat me up.
If there's one thing that we know, it's the fly by the seat of the pants thing tends to work. So I feel like I can figure it out on the island.
Hell yes. I love it. Melanie Denea is a famous photographer, and she did 2 coffee table books, My Last Supper and The Next Course. And so each one is 50 world famous chefs, Bourdain, Nobu, all these types. And they're all asked the same questions. And it's kind of where I drew the inspiration for this show from, this, semi-scripted format. And it all centers around, if your ticket's getting punched tomorrow, Nicole, what are you eating, drinking, listening to tonight?
Dang.
I know, we're going to get heavy here. And listen, so you're all like, well, I don't know. We're not really into the restaurant game. This is literally a 2 a.m. game we would all play in the service industry. Lights out hammered. It's like, if you're going to die tomorrow, what do you want to eat, bro? And you would have to answer it. And so a bit more refined version of it. If your ticket's getting punched tomorrow, what is the last meal you eat? What is the last drink you have? Who's at this dinner? And what music is playing?
I think it would be as much as many people as possible that have ever, I think, felt touched by something that I have been able to provide for them. Because, you know, I think that sometimes we get so wrapped up in, like, what we're doing and goes to the grindstone stuff that, like, you just hope that somebody somewhere has been touched by what you do. So if I ever had to, I'd probably go out big.
Yeah. Talk to me about big. Let's go. There's no limits. I want you to know, though, I already clutched my chest from that answer. Like, my hand went up to my chest. So, go on.
Nobody wants to, like, die alone, I don't think.
Oh,
at some point, you hope that, like, somebody cares, somebody felt something for you. So anybody that felt touched by something that I was able to provide them with, I think knowing that would be pretty cool.
Ian's providing coaching. I hear it.
I don't know what he's saying. I'm not. But when it comes to drinks,
yeah.
I mean, White Claws are pretty good.
Damn straight, man. White Claws.
I'm literally, that's like my go-to beverage. That's why I'm kind of pulling a joke on that one. Like I told you, basic white bitch when it comes to the booze, but I think I'm good with, like, some conversations with people that have been inspired or had a positive experience with something I've been able to provide.
I don't think she has questions.
What?
So what are we eating, Nicole? Talk to me.
I just want crab legs. Come on.
There you go. Oh, I love how knee-jerk reaction that was when I called her on it. Crab legs.
Easy and messy. I'm just sitting there with a bunch of crab legs hanging out.
Easy and messy. Sounds like my dating history. Anyway, so
hopefully on that tropical island.
There you go. You can name the locale as well. Fan-friggin-tastic. And Nicole, last question, the simplest question, the shortest one, and yet the most complex. What is food to you in a single word?
Oh gosh, I feel like I have to be, like, super cheesy.
No, you don't. You gotta be honest.
It's all love. I know that that's super cliche, but that's what it is, so.
No, that's not cliche at all, man. If that's what you feel, then that's what you feel. And that's real. So, goddamn. That was, fantastic. Crab Legs and White Claw, like, I might have to start a punk band named Crab Legs and White Claw. And I feel like our first gig is going to be at Central Park Hotel in Benton. Oh.
Perfect.
Right on the porch.
Right on the porch. Beautiful.
As soon as I remember to call the LCB agent back that needs to come out and check it out. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they're buzzing that. But, man, Nicole, Ian, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I mean, beyond a pleasure. I love when we can do local, and I love when we can lift up this signal, because I think what you're doing is not only amazing, but it is absolutely creative, profound for the area, and enlightening to the palates of the residents around. So thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, Shawn.
Absolutely. Folks, if you want to check out Nicole and Ian, who's been in the background, who's been an amazing second guest, I might add, be sure to check out the Central Park Hotel on 976 Central Road, Benton, PA 17814, 570-925-6650 for information and reservations. Check them out on Facebook as well as on Insta. You will not be disappointed. It is beautiful out here, kids. If you want to drive through, you will never regret this. Our producer, as always, has been the lovely, voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out his new Pirate Party campaign on all of his social media. Our next episode will be number 186. You will not want to miss it. Stay tuned. Are you passing through Central Pennsylvania and looking for one of the best dining experiences and craft brew menus around? Look no further. Turkey Hill Brewing Company and 991 Central Road in Bloomsburg, PA has everything you could ask for and then some. Service, food, beer together. Unbelievable. Be sure to check them out. Call them today for reservations. 570-387-8422. Call today.